How do you get a job? So my sister said a really valid point to me the other day. She'd been watching one of my videos and she said, Rebecca, you're showing everybody your job, you're showing them what you're doing, but what you're not saying is how you got there and how exactly you got into the brand and into the role that you're doing now. Now, it's of course easy for me to say that I started in a sales job and then I worked up and I went through the industry, but what isn't necessarily easy is for the people who are watching my videos who are in school, who are in possibly in higher education, who are doing their A-levels, or maybe even in university, or even maybe somebody older who's looking to get into a career path that they haven't followed before, how to start and get into a job. Now, I'm not saying that this will work for everybody, but this is what worked for me. So when I was younger, I started work very, very early. So my first job was a paper round. It may not have been much, but it was understanding for me that I had a commitment. I had a reliance upon me to deliver newspapers every week, and that was something that I had to do. I remember it was called the buy and sell, and we used to get there was probably about 500 or so papers that would get delivered to the house. Then there'd be all the leaflets, and we'd have to spend 2 or 3 days just putting all the leaflets inside of the paper, and then my mum, my granddad, my sister, we would all actually go out and deliver them all together. It was a thing that we do, and everyone would help so that my sister and I could earn some money. And that really taught me the value of how much time it took just to earn that amount of money. And it was probably about £15 a week that I earned, but it taught me how to get money and what I needed to do to get it. My second job, I was working in a card shop. I remember the card shop did balloons, so it did balloons for weddings, and my actual first few weeks of doing that job, I was in the basement, which was it was so cold in there. It was like really, really damp, and I was cutting strips of ribbon because the card shop did balloons for weddings, and the strips of ribbon needed to be cut ready for the weddings and things to do the balloons. Then as I progressed in that job, I was allowed to move up to the shop floor, and I was allowed to start selling cards and things. And what actually progressed out of that was we actually ended up opening up a family business doing balloons for weddings because I learned so much. And at this time I was about 14, probably about 14. My next job after that was I worked in a shoe shop called Barrett's, for those of you who remember Barrett's. And in there, this is when I really got my appetite for sales. So we were targeted upon how to sell like shoe shine and shoe shine and shoe protectors, and every single week I would make sure that I was top of that leaderboard, and I absolutely thrived upon being able to sell to people when they came in. The one thing that I learned there is don't ask somebody if they want it, just advise them on how it will work and how it will be good for them, show them the benefits and how it will help them and how it protects, for example in this case, their shoes. And that's when I really got the understanding of basic sales. My next job after that was working in a bar, so I went to work in Yates's. I absolutely adored this job. Again, very sales driven, so I would sell shots. So I'd go around the dance floor and stuff on a Friday and Saturday night, and I'd have like little test what were they called, test tubes, and we used to put shots in them, and I'd sell them for £1 a shot, and I was allowed to keep 20% of what I sold. And I was working behind the bar as well. And I remember when I first started, there was like 7 or 8 tills, and the 8th till was the quietest till, and the aim was to move up to till 1, and I got up to till 1 after probably about 6 months, and I just loved being on till 1. The music was playing, I just loved it. I loved that job. Then after that, this was of course whilst in school and whilst in education as well, so whilst I was working in the bar, of course I had to be older, but this is when I was doing my A-levels. And then when I moved to Liverpool to go to university, I had about 3 or 4 jobs consistently whilst in university in order to pay for education, pay for my halls, and of course just pay to live. So those jobs were, I worked in a bar called RSVP in Liverpool, which again, absolutely loved. I love Scouse House music, like that's all I listen to really. And even at like 6 o'clock in the morning, that's what I'm listening to. And I used to absolutely love the music there. I also did promotions, so I was part of a promotions team who went and set up Quick Save. I used to wear a Quick Save t-shirt. I worked in a call centre for Tally West Broadband, where I would handle the incoming calls for their faults. I also worked, what else did I do? Gosh, there was so many different jobs that I was doing at the same time. It was basically a number of bars, so it was a couple of bars doing the promotions and working in the call centre. But what did this teach me, and why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because it isn't just a journey whereby the role that I'm doing now has come easily. It's taught me time and time again in all the different jobs that I've done that if you work hard and if you work work smart and work hard. So obviously I know that all different kinds of roles are working hard, but if you work smart and methodically within your job and are able to prove yourself in terms of the targets that you're set, then you can get up to the next position. Now, if you're a younger person and if this is your first job, or an older person if this is your first job, and you're thinking, how do I get a job? My best advice would be to go into the businesses that you're thinking of applying for. So many adverts are out there for jobs and so many CVs get received by recruiters. I get many CVs sent over to me for the job advertisements which we advertise. But if I'm able to see something different in a person, so if I'm able to see that they've approached me in a different way, perhaps sent me a video of themselves explaining why they want the job. And of course, when I was younger, these kind of facilities weren't available to me. I couldn't take a video and send it into a recruiter or send it into a shoe shop, but I could go in and show them what I'm about. So my advice to you really would be, if you're looking to get into a job, go in and speak to the companies that you're looking to speak to. It may be that they're busy and that they're not able to speak to you, but just by going in persistently and consistently, that will show that you want to work there, and this will stand out from other applicants who are going for that job. If you're 14, 15, 16, and if you're thinking, you want to get some extra money, my advice again would be look into things like coffee shops, look into local news agents, look into restaurants where they need people who are flexible upon hours. They can come in at short notice. Make it clear that you are flexible, be diligent, always show up on time. And if you have a shift starting at 9, get there at 2:45. If you have a shift starting at 6, get there at 2:45. Make sure that you are the person who's ready to be starting their shift at the time that it started, not that you're getting there at 6 and then you're taking 10 minutes to take your coat off, go to the bathroom, have a drink. Make sure that you're ready and presentable. The other advice that I would give, which I probably couldn't have given in the past because when I was younger we didn't have social media, shows my age, but make sure that your social media platform is fully representative of who you are as well, because very often now when people are going to look for prospective, when you've got people who are going to look for prospective employees, they'll look at their social media to see what they do in their personal lives and how they come across generally as a person. So if there's anything on social media which you're putting online, make sure that that's representative of the person that you are and that you want to be seen. Failing that, if you're unable to secure a job, don't get downhearted by it. I had to hand in hundreds and hundreds of letters because, of course, I didn't have a CV when I was 14 or 15. So I just used to hand in a letter saying, I'd really like to come and work for you. I'm hardworking. I'll be here on time. I'm flexible upon hours. And if you do that, and if you consistently go in and say that, you really would like to work in that place, that will help, and it will go a lot further than just dropping in popping in once and saying, do you have any jobs going? The other thing actually I would say there is, when you walk into somewhere and you're looking to ask if they have any vacancies, don't just say, do you have any vacancies? Because that's, of course, a closed question. They can just say no. I would introduce yourself and say, hi, I'm Rebecca. I live in the area. I'm looking for an opportunity to expand my skill set. And I was wondering if there was any opportunities for me to come and present myself here, work here with you, where I can learn from you and I can develop myself. Putting that across like that comes very differently to, do you have any jobs going? So just think the language that you're using when you're asking if they have vacancies as well. If I can help in any way where I'm not doing an 8-minute video going on and on and on, then most definitely please reach out, and good luck with your job search.